Oh, hey, didn't see you there. What's up? Brandon here, and today is gonna be kind of a discussion, a talk. I know we've been doing a lot of these, but I feel like I like doing these and I like talking and I like, just interacting and speaking my mind because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes we can't really speak our mind, and so it's nice to just kind of have an outlet just where you can pour thoughts into and just ramble and pointlessly, but still, be meaningful and not like get a bunch of like feedback, just to be able to like, some an outlet. But today we're going to be talking about something that's been on my mind and kind of been circulating the internet a little bit for the past couple of, well, years. And recently, more and more, the topic of mental illness has been surfaced into today's society, and it's been more prevalent nowadays. More and more people are starting to come out and talk about their mental illnesses that they've had for a while and that they've had for a long time, and that people sometimes get the wrong idea. Like they're like, "Oh, mental illnesses doesn't exist. You can't see it. You can't feel it. It's so it isn't there." And that's not right. That is really not right, and we should not be thinking that way because it is a thing that affects a lot of people. And myself personally, I suffer from ADHD. I have had ADHD my whole life. That's how these things work. You have these all your life, and it gets difficult because you get judged, and it's just difficult to deal with, to have this thing inside your head that constantly ticks away at you and that eats at you in these different ways that these illnesses get at your inside your head, and like they mess with like your perception and basically everything you do. And that's how it is with ADHD. Like sometimes I feel like I'm going insane and I know I'm not. It's just this thing in my head, but it's not there, so it's hard to justify it, and that's frustrating, not being able to justify the way you feel and the way things happen in your head. That's tough. That's really tough. And I speak personally about how tough it is because I got a lot of crap for my disorder from when I was a kid, and it sucks. It really sucks. But luckily, I just didn't pay attention to it up until junior high. It didn't really bug me much because I had a lot of good friends and I had a lot of good support systems, like my family, my cousins, particularly my one cousin who has ADD. But yeah, these people just stick in your lives and they help you through these things, but that's not always the case. And once I reached middle school, I moved. So in seventh grade, I moved when I was 14. I moved from Portland, Oregon, where I'd been living for the first 14 years of my life, and I went and I moved to Utah. My family moved to Utah so my dad could start a new chiropractic business. And it was a huge change in my life. It was massive, massive change, and just I had to start adapting everything I did because of the environment change. And because I was so disconnected from everything in my life, I was so disconnected from people that I cared about, from all these groups that supported me, and I just felt like no one was there. Like my parents were busy, my friends were in another state. Like I felt like I had no one, and I tried to like talk to people and just socialize, going, a seventh grader in middle school, just like trying to be yourself in the most judgmental place on the planet. That's not good. That's not fun. It sucks. It really sucks. And it's hard. It's so hard because people are mean. People are very mean when they want to be. And when they don't feel good about something, they just turn it into anger and hate. And that's not good. And for the first couple of months that I lived here, I knew no one, and no one wanted to know me. And that was terrifying because I am a very social person. I love being around people. I love social interaction. If I'm not around someone or like have some kind of stimulation, then I go nuts. I feel like crap. I feel sick. I just feel drained of literally any energy or motivation or anything. And it sucks. It really sucks. It's just I crave attention. I crave activity, and I crave physicalness, and that's how my ADHD works. It makes me want to go out and do things and participate and be active and do like everything I want, and my brain goes a million miles a second. And that's hard for 7th graders to understand. 7th graders don't understand shit well, and it's tough. It's really tough because that outed me very quickly. And like I said, for the first couple of months, I didn't talk to anyone, and no one wanted to talk to me. I tried to talk to people, but no one would, bite or nibble up until a couple people just thought and felt bad for me or something, or maybe their parents said, "Oh, don't be mean to that kid you've been mean to." But I eventually started having friends, but they still didn't really want me around. But I was accepted, and that's fine. And that's how a lot of stories go. But sometimes people don't get accepted, and then they get pushed to these extremes and these decisions that aren't rational and these decisions that aren't practical, and they go and they do these things that are irreversible, and it's it's so sad to see. And we need to support people like that, because in times of need, all you need is someone to be there for you, and to remember times where there was people for you, and where there was things where you could enjoy and spend time and just let yourself be enveloped by these good positive energies and feelings that make up life. And that's what makes life so enjoyable, and why we still continue doing everything we do, because these tiny little tidbits of life that you enjoy. And those are the things we need to start striving for and start helping people get to. And if you're not helping someone get to those, or you're dragging them down into these places where they feel so low that they may need to make a decision that will devastate their lives, or even worse, end it, then that's not okay, and you need to stop that. But it's not all bad. Living with all this stuff isn't bad. It's people go through this all the time, and it's okay to be having these feelings and feeling the way you feel about all this stuff, and the way your brain works and all this stuff is okay. And if no one's told you that, well, then I'm telling you that now. It's okay to feel that way. It's totally okay. You have permission to feel that way, and that's okay. That's justified. And no one told me that for a long time. And up until a while ago, I didn't feel that how I was feeling was okay, but it is. And it can sometimes bring you down, but it's not always a curse. And that's a big thing that I've been finding out about ADHD. It's not a curse. It can be beneficial, and it can be useful. You just have to be able to harness the energy you have, and harness these things that you have in your head, and you need to put it to good use, because everything has good and evil. It's a scale. It's balanced. There's balance in the universe, and there's balance in everything. And if you can find proper ways to utilize these things in your life that have been affecting you for all this time, and you can use it for good, then you need to start doing that. And you need to start getting into good habits and start small. All of this may be overwhelming, and it may be just pouring down on you like waterfalls, but every waterfall starts with a tiny little drop. And you gotta remember that, because the water isn't made up of one thing, it's made up of a big things. Like, you can be underwater in a lake, but you forget this, the giant lake is still made up of these small little molecules and these small integral parts that are interwoven with everything, and you gotta remember that. So yeah, that's just me wanting to talk and kind of spout about these ideas and these things that have been affecting me. And hopefully I help some of you guys out, and some of you guys can find meaning and usefulness to this video, and I hope that it was engaging and entertaining. I hope to do more of these videos. I like talking and spewing thoughts, and I know sometimes this doesn't make sense and it's not really coherent occasionally, but I feel like everybody needs to kind of just speak unbridled, and they need to just have confidence, be able to focus their thoughts even if it just is rambling. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good night, and I hope that you guys have a good life. And I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.